The latest episode of Dragon Ball Daima makes it very clear that Goku should not have abandoned the power pole. He uses it to great effect in this episode and even quite literally uses them to smash this asshole's Dragon Balls.
Powerful Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby. Fire-breathing monsters, fusion meta-bugs, and flying through the air on massive flower seeds. Yes, this was another wacky episode of Dragon Ball Daima, which again gets me even more excited as we explore the Demon Realm, which initially was very similar to Dragon Ball's Earth, which is to say it didn't really have anything that made it all that distinctive enough from it. But with every single episode, we get to see some brand new things which are introduced, which truly show that the Demon Realm is a very alien place. And ultimately, that's what made this episode so fun to watch. Although, I have to admit, I know there are going to be some viewers who are not really going to be down for this adventure. If you're looking for those knockdown, drag-out, awesome, screaming Dragon Ball fights, you're not really going to get it in this episode. What you are, however, going to get is a really fun adventure exploring the very interesting ecosystem of the Demon Realm itself, which manages to throw a lot of weird curveballs at our main characters throughout the course of this episode, opening up with a little bit of action, which, yes, is very appreciated, as Glorio had his plane stolen, and now they have to make their way across the Demon Realm on foot, where they come across this massive chasm, which is filled with this weird giant fire-breathing creature, whom Glorio beats the shit out of. I really like this scene because it again establishes that Glorio is actually a very competent fighter and doesn't just have to rely on his gun, he's got the skills to pay the bills in terms of ripping some monsters' assholes open. We also get the revelation that apparently Glorio and a lot of the other demons of the Demon Realm know nothing of the concept of ki. There's a scene where they're actually ambushed by this giant ogre monster whom Goku predictably of course beats the crap out of, and this is where he explains the concept of ki to Glorio, which still kinda confounds him a little bit. They also really want to make it clear that just moving around the Demon Realm is very difficult. A lot of that has to do to its dense air. This is kind of hard to believe because we've seen some of the feats that Goku has pulled off in the past. We do have to remember that yes, he was transformed into a child, but I mean, come on, this guy's trained at like 500 times gravity. This really shouldn't be much of an issue for him. However, they do make it clear that just simply making their way through this is not going to be easy, and they're going to have to find another way to cover some ground. Luckily, they come across this cute little home, which is basically like a little teapot, and it has this weird old demon couple which live inside of it. They kind of give me the vibes of the old couple from the Neverending Story, and this is where we're introduced to this really cool concept in this world. This old lady and her husband happen to sell these weird little bugs which are called meta-bugs. Essentially, they're like medication. You can take one, it'll heal yourself. You got a headache, just pop one of those bad boys and you're good to go. There's also fusion bugs, with the implication that if two people are to consume them, they'll have the ability to fuse into one single being. This is a brand new form of fusion that we've never seen in the series quite yet, and of course it's got me thinking about all of the possible combinations that we could get from this fusion. And that's got me really excited, because while this is a prequel or a midquel between Z and Super, there's no indication that we're going to get some sort of brand new form for Goku, Vegeta, or his friends. But with the concept of fusion metabugs, just about anything is possible. And I cannot wait to see if Goku's going to fuse with someone, if Glorio is going to do it. Who knows? The sky is the limit with this concept, and the fact that Goku managed to take a couple of these bugs for himself just shows they're definitely going to be put to use. So not only did this couple sell these weird bugs, but they also are able to hook up Goku and his friends with some transportation. Apparently this massive seed from a flower that when you actually pull on it, basically causes it to explode like a freaking rocket launcher, allowing them to propel themselves across the Demon Realm. And they do just that in a scene which is just so freaking wacky. They make landfall, and they also start to learn a little bit more about the Demon Realm Dragon Balls in this episode. Apparently there's 3 worlds, so there are 3 Demon Realm Dragon Balls, all of which are guarded by a Tamagami. They have to be defeated in order to get those Dragon Balls. And even Goku makes the proposal that maybe they should go for those first, so that way they could save Dende and then go back to Earth and use those Dragon Balls to make themselves young again. Supreme Kai seems a little iffy about this, and you can even see that there's a little bit of friction between him and Glorio. I'm not sure if that's going to actually go anywhere, but it is an interesting prospect, and it at least gives us the confirmation that there are 3 Dragon Balls in this world. I also thought that it was very interesting that according to Glorio, supposedly these were the original Dragon Balls where they came from. Now, of course, we learn in Dragon Ball Super that this is actually not the case, and that apparently all Dragon Balls seem to stem from Super Shenron and the Super Dragon Balls. But again, he doesn't quite know that. He might not even know about the existence of the Super Dragon Balls themselves, and let's face it, they're making this shit up as it goes along. I mean, for all we know, this is the original Dragon Ball right here. The second half of the episode is where we get to learn a little bit more about the culture of the demon world, and I do find it very funny that Supreme Demon King Gomah has already made his push in the demon realm. They've already got statues erected of him everywhere, and even has his very own personal bodyguards and police who basically go around to all of these different demon settlements, basically demanding a tribute, wanting to get their money, and if they're not able to pay up, he quite literally has a machine which has the ability to siphon their life force away, and he has no problem in doing this. I'm not quite sure what this life force is going to be used for, but my guess is this is actually how the character of Neva has actually been able to extend his life. They're able to sort of collect this and distribute it amongst either the royalty of the demon world or those they feel actually are owed this very specific life force. And of course, while all of this is going on, Goku does not like any of this is happening. Being the character that he is, he immediately wants to defend them when suddenly we're introduced to a brand new mysterious demon character wearing a very strange mask who decides to retaliate against the Demon King's guard. And this does not go well at all. Her plan completely fails. And thankfully, this leads to a really stellar action scene in the episode of watching Goku defend this girl and fight against all of these guards. And of course, he's using the power pole while he's doing it the entire time. And man, it makes me wish that Goku would have just had this the entire series. It was one of the most distinctive things about Goku initially towards the beginning of the series and in the original Dragon Ball. Of course, the Demon Realm guards stand no chance against Goku. He absolutely just rocks their world the entire time. In a scene that is actually very well animated and a lot of fun to watch, and most importantly takes advantage of the fact that Goku can't necessarily fly around a lot. There's a lot of parkour, jumping around buildings, using some really fun choreography, especially with the use of the power pole itself. And at the very end of the episode, we get the big reveal that this mysterious masked demon girl is none other than the one that we keep seeing in the intro and outro of the show. From the promotional material, she goes by the name of Pansy, at least I think that's how it's actually pronounced. I'm not really sure what her overall role and mission in the show is going to be, but I don't think it's an extreme coincidence that she also happens to be a blue-skinned demon with white hair, very similar to Glorio. For all we know, they might even be related, or at least they're from like the same demon tribe. But as for what her purpose is, no idea. It looks like they're going to spend the next episode introducing all of that, and I am interested to see what that's going to be because, like I said, in the intro, the outro, and all the promotional material, they make it very clear that both Glorio and this brand new character of Pansy are going to be very important on this journey. They're going to be crucial characters in Dragon Ball Daima, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do with them. But that being said, how was this episode of Dragon Ball Daima? It was a lot of okay. I was not completely blown away by this episode. It's the type of episode that I might appreciate a little bit later on when the entire series does have its conclusion, but every single time I watch an episode which feels like the characters are just sort of meandering around and exploring the world and everything, I have to remember that this is just a small piece of the puzzle in the grand scheme of things. They really do want to build up the Demon Realm as this brand new location, which is really mysterious and has a lot of things in it that we actually haven't seen. And so far, I think they are actually doing a pretty good job of that. That's really the best thing about Dragon Ball Daima thus far is its unique setting and the fact that it's filled with all these crazy monsters and creatures and all this weird stuff that we've never actually seen before, while at the same time, it's also going to seem relatively similar to things that we've seen in the past. It's not too dissimilar to when Frieza and his goons went to Namek and were subjugating the people of that planet, demanding all of the things from them, except here that it's been traded out for some demon guards messing with a bunch of demon citizens. For me, the most interesting concept of this episode is the introduction of the meta bugs, simply for the fact that they are basically bugs which they can use for a number of different purposes, whether that's refilling their stamina, healing them from injuries, or like I said, the potential of the fusion meta bugs. That's the thing that's got me really excited, as I can't wait to see who's actually going to use them. I would love to see him fuse with Glorio and basically become Gloriku, or Goku. Kurio. I don't know. The point is, Goku would basically be a half demon at this point, and I think that would be really awesome. Overall, this was another fun and light adventure for Goku and his friends with the introduction of some brand new characters, and at this point it looks like we are going to be fully introduced to the main cast by the end of the next episode, so hopefully at that point the pacing can pick up a little bit and we can move into some greater territory for the series, as we still have a number of things to accomplish here. But really for me, this episode builds up the potential of what could be happening much later on in Dragon Ball Daima. As it is, it continues to be sort of the classic combination of all the things I love about the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z series, sort of just smushed together, fused, if you will. Basically, the sky's the limit for the future, and I can't wait to see what's next. As for this episode right here, like I said, while I really did enjoy a lot of aspects of it, especially watching Glorio fight and seeing Goku fight against those guards at the end of the episode, it was still kind of okay in my opinion, and it didn't quite blow me away. I'm gonna give this episode a 3 out of 5. Kind of average, but still very fun to watch, especially if you're a fan of these characters, and of course, the brand new setting that they're having fun in. So there it is, my thoughts on the episode. I want to hear yours, however. Make sure to sound off in the comments section below and tell me what you thought about the latest episode of Dragon Ball Daima. Are you enjoying Goku's brand new adventure? What do you think of the new characters of Glorio and this brand new small demon girl? What are they gonna do? And with the concept of fusion meta bugs, what sort of fusions do you guys want to see? Tell me all of that in the comments section below. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.